are back with you on the CNC Auto Show. And during today's show, we're answering automotive questions. And so if you have a question about your car, truck, or SUV, give us a call, 706-863-5800. We also have a tech tip quiz laying on the table. If someone knows the answer to our tech tip quiz, they're eligible to win a really neat prize or some prize or like a prize package.
Yeah.
And also, we're talking about military machines. So, one of the military machines that we did some research on is a Stiletto. It's a double M hull design, and it allows it to achieve an unequaled ride in the rough seas. And it cruises at about 50 knots, and it hauls up to about 20 tons of gear. And it's considered the Cadillac of the sea. The M80 Stiletto is the largest U.S. Navy vessel using carbon fiber composite and epoxy building techniques. In other words, plastic and glue.
Yeah, I had one. I had to get rid of it, though.
Oh, yeah. That is one awesome looking machine. And one other thing I'm going to mention is these are pieces of equipment that we know about.
Right.
If someone is either in the military or been in the military at one time and knows of a piece of equipment that they really thought was neat.
Or we can even change it up. Call in with your favorite one.
Yeah, call in with your favorite piece of equipment, military equipment that you know of. That I think that'll really be neat. Are we ready to go to the calls?
Yeah, Aaron, I think it's Chris's turn. Let's go over to him.
Let's do that. Hey, Chris, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with today?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Very nicely. Wait a minute. I think I see where you may have an answer to our tech tip quiz.
I'm going to give it a try.
All right, we're going to have to sift Blues here today. Hold on one second. He might not be here.
Nope.
No, Blue's gone. Let's get a fill-in for Blues. You got any ideas?
He can play a different note.
We won't do that. Okay, Blue's not here, Chris, so we are ready for your question. Your answer to our question.
I'm going to say when he turned in the driveway at 30 miles an hour, it wasn't a real car. It was an RC car.
Huh?
What does that?
When the radio controlled RC.
An RC car.
Well, I've had my experience with them, and they're real easy for them to get away from you.
Chris, you are absolutely right. The car was an RC car. It actually come from Hobbytown, and those remote control cars, they can run, some of them run 50, 60, 70 miles an hour?
Yeah, I'd say like the entry models now run 50, and a lot of them run up to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're very, very fast. And when Johnny pulled in with his little remote control car, he hit the left rear tire of the truck, and of course it didn't hurt anything. It didn't even hurt the car, actually, when he did that. So, Chris, you are absolutely correct, and you'll be getting those models, all of the prize package items, the shirt, and all these other things. And use your power with that shirt wisely, please.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, y'all.
May the 4th be with you, Chris. Okay. Hey,
we're going to put you on hold, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, we need to put you on hold so they can get all of your information there. All right. Okay. And Chris is on hold. Another item that I thought was kind of neat. We find out about some really neat news from time to time.
Meaning 2 minutes before the show.
Yeah, 2 minutes before the show. Exactly how it's happened. Well, this is another sinkhole story.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Westerberg was working out at a St. Louis downtown gym with his fiance on Thursday morning, and when he walked out the door after his workout, he noticed a crowd was around his vehicle, and he walked up a little closer and didn't see his vehicle. He said, well, they towed my vehicle off.
Yeah.
So he got a little closer and looked way down in there, and a sinkhole had sucked his whole car down there.
Oh, wow.
And water from a pipe was spraying on it afterwards.
It was a free car wash.
Yeah, and he mentioned that what was kind of strange is the Camry is not really that heavy.
Right.
It's not like a really heavy car.
Yeah.
But it just went boom. So sinkholes they're a little bit more common.
Yeah.
Than they used to be. So Everyone needs to be very careful about
the
where
one
you
that
park
you
at.
mentioned that happened here in our town. I think you mentioned it last show or something.
Mhm.
I don't even know if it's been filled back up. I believe they're still doing some plumbing issues and stuff like that. I'm not
Yeah.
positive it's full.
I hadn't really been by there. I don't know if they're on the way to having it completely repaired.
I'm not
going to
make it a point to go by there. I'm afraid I'd fall in.
Yeah. But that would be a terrible feeling to walk by and see that your vehicle has been pulled in to a sinkhole on there. Okay, another some of the other military pieces of equipment that I remember that I always that I think's really neat, like the F-16 fighter, the F-15 fighter, the F-18 fighter. Those are all beautiful pieces of equipment with so many electronics. But I'll give you an idea of how far they come. You also have the F-35 Lightning, which it's about a 1,200 miles an hour.
Wow!
It would it go? But what's really neat about it is it has systems to where it can actually do and when I say short field takeoff, I mean very, very short field takeoff.
Yeah.
Because of variable nozzles. And then
like how far are we talking about? Like in yards?
now this is very rough.
Yeah,
And this is
I'm
my
not gonna
guess.
quote
I'm
you or
gonna say 40 or 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That fast?
very
Wow.
short. And also, it can do a vertical landing. It
Mm-hmm.
can catapult off of a ship. Now, of course, it uses a resting hook when it comes in.
Yeah.
But just a beautiful piece of equipment. But here's an example. That F4 that I was talking about a little earlier, when it was built in the 60s, it was about $2.5 million a piece.
Okay.
This one, about $120 million
Oh,
a
wow.
piece.
Slight
And-
increase.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with all the unbelievable electronics that's
Yeah.
involved in these
Right.
aircraft now. Yeah, it's just really something to see
Yeah, for sure.
in there. And of course, there'll probably be a lot of people around the country going to different air shows this time of year,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to see a lot of military equipment there. I also like to see older airplanes. I love that. When people get a chance to go see different battleships that are around the country, that you get to go in and see different pieces of equipment there.
Not too long ago, you went to one, didn't you?
I did. I
Yeah.
went to the one in Alabama.
Okay.
Very enjoyable trip. So if you get a chance to go to visit different places like that, would be really neat to see also. Okay, the number to call 706-863-5800. If you have a question about your car, truck, or SUV, just give us a call. And we're answering automotive questions, but we're also talking about different things to do with the military. There's a system called a Supra. Let me see.
Supra, I believe,
class.
yeah.
And these are beginning to be more and more common now as hovercraft,
Yeah.
where they can get the troops and the equipment onto the land, from the sea to the land, easier and faster.
Yeah, quicker. Yeah.
Without having to wade through the water as much. They can get them directly onto the land. So those type ships are more and more common and very neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Got a cool picture of them pulled up on the screen.
Yeah,
there.
on the screen there. Okay, number to call 706-863-5800. Now, one of the next things that we're talking about this time of year is a lot to do with maintenance on the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm seeing this time of year a lot of is more and more people are talking about knowing that their transmission needs to be serviced at a certain time.
Right.
There was a time to where when vehicles would have a certain amount of miles, they wouldn't. They were really concerned about getting it serviced. So
I think what's stuck in everybody's head is after 100,000 miles, don't do it. But that's far from the truth.
Exactly. But now with the pieces of equipment that we have now, you're pulling out all of the transmission fluid and you're putting all new transmission fluid in. Whereas years ago, you would remove you take the pan
I'd
off.
say about 60%.
Yeah, you would lose about 5 quarts of fluid.
Yeah.
And then you would put the pan back on with a new filter, and you'd put about 5 quarts of new fluid back in. That would mix with the old fluid, and that would cause a lot of issues.
Right.
With today's equipment, it goes in and it's a total fluid exchange. Some people call it a flush.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
really
not wild about that word. Yeah.
Yeah, that word kind of implies that you're putting pressure inside the transmission.
Like you're pressure
But
washing it.
actually, the transmission is pushing the oil fluid out under its own pressure, and then it goes under a little diaphragm, and it pushes that diaphragm upward, and the new fluid goes in to take its place.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the
So
diaphragm.
no undue stress on the transmission at all.
I think
And
the
what
only
is-
other factor that has make that service been better is, of course, the way the transmissions are made also, too.
Exactly.
A lot better quality.
Yeah, and then along with that, you're also getting all the old metal particles out of there.
Contaminants, yeah.
And if you take old transmission fluid and put between your finger,
You can feel the
and
grit,
it builds up heat. You take new fluid and it feels so cool and slick till it's got to make the transmission last longer.
Right.
It's time to take a real quick break. We'll be right back with more automotive information right after these messages.